My name is Humphrey. I believe you can hear me very well. I am a graduate of Federal University of Technology, Owerri. I studied Petroleum Engineering in my first degree, where I was able to complete my studies successfully, and I proceeded forward to do my master's in Rivers State University, where I studied offshore subsea engineering, and I was thinking of a change in transition from the normal conventional energy to renewable energy. So I decided to, go for the master's degree again in Germany. I got the DRRD scholarship, that is the German Academic Exchange Service Scholarship, where I'm currently doing my master's in the Technical University, Berlin, studying process and energy engineering. My career has gravitated towards renewable energy, the energy market, trying to understand the energy market in not just Europe, but all over the world, focusing on hydrogen production, solar energy, wind energy. Therefore, it helps me to be able to transition between the conventional energy and renewable energy. Thank you, Pastor, for having me. There are different pathways in which you can get a visa. There are different categories anyway. They grouped it into category A and category B. So category A is mainly for scholarship holders and first class graduates, those that have first class in their bachelor's degree or master's program. So I think it was also added to a work visa. I'm not very sure, but for category B is mainly for others, others.
Okay.
So the German visa application in Nigeria has evolved over the years. It's very crazy because of sorry to say, the bad record we've had. And although they tell us that they have shortage of staff, but I don't think shortage of staff is the issue, because as a student to get a visa now to come to Germany, the waiting period is 18 months, 18 good months. So even if you are going for example, you're going to travel for studies in 2024, say October 2024, and you have admission and the rest, you have to wait for complete 18 months. That is, you have to wait 1 year plus some months. If you're lucky, you could get it early. So that is the entire waiting period if you're not in category A. So as a scholarship holder, I got my visa seamlessly. Under 2 weeks, I got my visa. It's basically going to the embassy and going to the embassy and receiving the visa. It was just 2 weeks. 2 weeks between the application and receiving the visa as a scholarship holder. So the scholarship gives you an advantage to be able to get your visa. But aside that, if you're going on personal sponsor, and you're not in category A, you have to wait for 18 months. There is what we call block account. Before you even apply to the visa, to the embassy, you have to get a blocked account if you're not on a scholarship. A blocked account is just like a sum of money the German government expects you to have as a student that can feed you for a complete month. So for example, in Germany, they expect that the feeding and allowance for a student should be a minimum of 934 euros. 934 euros. So your block account should have 934 euros by 12. 934 euros by 12. So this block account is still your money. You understand? The government gives, when you get to Germany, the government gives you your block account money every month. You collect every month that same amount and you use it. So basically, they make sure that before you're coming to the country, you're not a burden to the country. You can sustain yourself. So that's the essence of the block account, So in traveling to Germany, first, if you don't have an accommodation, you can actually get a hostels online, student hostel online, and have a brief understanding of the language, so you'll be able to communicate. At least you can say good morning, good afternoon, where is the train station, where is this street, how do I locate here? At least you'll be able to say those things in German. And yeah, in Germany, their language is of utmost importance for you to be able to live and work here. Is very important, very, very important. I mean, is equivalent to your master's degree. Let me put in quotes the notion that people from Africa, people over here have about Africa, you know. So, but me, I didn't experience that. I didn't experience any of that. Like, although I have a friend that experienced, he was searched thoroughly, but living in the only place I was searched thoroughly was in Nigeria. Aside from Nigeria, when I got to the Turkish, I traveled through the Turkish Airways, and when I got to Istanbul, there was no search, and I now connected to the flight going to Germany. When I got to Germany, there was no search. I just went straight, showed my passport, and picked up my luggage. And the people there were friendly to answer my question. You know, when you ask someone, "Oh, please, I'm going to so a place. Can you direct me where I'm going to?" They gives you an open hand. They give you an open hand. You know, I didn't experience the impression people say Germans are very unfriendly. Yes, at some point they are, but I didn't experience it at that point. You know, I got to my location, and because I'm a scholarship holder, my accommodation was already sorted out before coming. So I went straight to my location for my language course. So the accommodation was sorted out, so I just went, checked in. The keys was already there. I had instructions, although it was in German, so I just translated and followed the instructions to open the door, and that was it. In Germany, there are different ways to secure an apartment. You know, in city they're looking for. We have what we call the shared apartment. We call it WG. WG, like WG. All mine is German pronunciation of W. They pronounce W as V. Yeah, WG apartment. Then we have normal self-contained apartments, and we have shared apartments. So we have in this apartment, you can get the student Wohnheim, student apartment. Sorry, I'm using German language. Student Wohnheim is like, you know, for example, in Nigeria, we have what we call SUG. But this SUG, for example, you know, they call it the Studentenwerk, is an association that comprises all the, for example, in your city, maybe say, for example, you're in Berlin, all the universities in Berlin have one particular Studentenwerk, and they have apartments all over the city, all over that city. So you have to apply to the Studentenwerk, and you can get a room. You know, you can get a room there if there is vacant room, and also as students are coming in, students are graduating, so there are always vacant room. But there are situations where it's difficult, like for big cities like Berlin, Munich, Frankfurt, Hamburg. Sometimes accommodations is difficult, you know. So what I previously I had accommodations was quite easy, but as a result of the war, Ukrainian war, there were a lot of migrations of Ukrainians to Germany, and the German government had to give out the apartments to Ukrainians without payment of rent. So they don't pay rent, so they give out the apartment. So the house was a scarce commodity. You know, their house rent became so much. The war affected so many things. The prices of gas increased, house rent increased. So then to get a house, as you mentioned, I mentioned Studentenwerk, the students too. You have WG Gesuit, is a website. You have Imo Scout 24. You have Imo Velt. There are a lot of websites that you can use to get an apartment. You can in shared apartments, you can have like people sharing, and you have different rooms, but you know, one kitchen and same toilet, maybe like seven rooms, one kitchen, one toilet, and a universal space. So you can get shared apartment too. So basically, that's just it. And the price of housing differs per city. You know, for example, in Berlin here, you can have three bedroom apartment. Let me just give an example. 3-bedroom. Oh no, 2-bedroom flat. You can have it as 2,500 euros. And then in a small city like Anhalt, you can have that at the same size of an apartment, say 850 euros or 1,000. Or I didn't come when school started. I came for a language course first, and the language course lasted for 4 months. When I got to Germany, every apartment has a Wi-Fi. So once you get to your house, you connect to your Wi-Fi, and that was it. I could make calls from my WhatsApp and other social media platforms. So, but I decided to get a SIM, and the SIM, I begin to ask, okay, which SIM is the best SIM to get? Because in each SIM, you have to sign a contract. You have to sign a contract, maybe that, oh, I want to be using this SIM. You have to use your passport and all those stuff. So I asked questions. I asked, okay, which SIM is better for data, making calls, and all those stuff. So I from the advantages and disadvantages I decided to use Audi Talk. I got an Audi Talk SIM card, and that was what I used. So when I got to Germany, there was no time to breathe. You know, I hit the ground running. I hit the ground. Okay. So our advice to students, once you get to the city, the first thing to do is get a SIM card, you know, so that you could actually make a call around Germany on thereabout. Then you can also then you start looking for how to get a residence permit, a residence and work permit is very important. You know, except if your visa is covering you for the whole period, but you get a residence and work permit so that you'll be able to work in the country. Then in school, there is no much thing. Is about your faculty has already told you everything you need to do on the website. And so like in the university, there is this contact between this platform they have for TU Berlin. We call it ISIS. Each school have what they call it. Is a contact where is a platform where the school you have contact with courses, you have contact, and you have your university mail. So all those things are already set with you. There is no difficulties there. And normally German schools resume their winter semester in October. Some schools also resume in September. You know, and it depends on the school. Like in the German universities, they have the Hochschule, they have the TU, the Technical University. Hochschule is like University of Applied Sciences. Let me use, for example, in Nigeria, we call it polytechnics, but okay, yeah, it's Hochschule. Then we have the TU, like the federal universities, the universities. We have private universities. From my experiences in the TU, they have a very good, the Germans are very brilliant, very, very brilliant, and they give you opportunity to ask stupid questions. You know, no matter how the question is, the teacher is open to answer it. Even if you ask, please, can you go back? And they have office hours. In their office hours, you can come and ask questions of any kind. You know, they can break down the stuff, but there are some things they expect you to know. So maybe you're coming from where I'm coming from, that we left there were loopholes in our studies. So you'll be able to, you know, match up. And there are various things. They have class activities in the class. You know, they send you materials you can read up if you want more knowledge. I think their slides are very concise in the sense that you don't even need to start doing extensive research, or let me go and look for thermodynamics textbook and start reading maybe to understand thermodynamics. They make it very simple. That they have made everything concise, and just pay attention to the lectures, and then you get every information. And also they give you during the exams, they can tell you, okay, these are the areas. They give you past questions. they give you they share questions for you, past questions. Say, okay, this is the format of our question. You can go by it. And that doesn't necessarily mean they'll bring something like that. You will not see something like that, but you will notice that, okay, is this topic is being asked. And yeah, and it's good. So they are open to your questions. So though, yeah, the course content, I would advise anybody doing a master's degree in Germany to do not take not more than 5 courses in a semester. Do not take more than 5 courses in a semester, because it's a lot. It's a lot. Coming from where we are, before you'd have to meet up the speed of and most of them for international students, their program are English taught, so you'll be able to catch up if you know what you're doing, if you're really focused on. Some people come here and they forget that they are studying and focus on work. So, and the Germans make studies very easy. For the technical university, you plan your studies yourself. If you want to do your master's for 4 years, it's up to you. Yes. So okay. They plan studies yourself, and you can tell, oh, I can't write this exam now. Maybe you studied and you say, oh, I can't write this exam. You can write it next semester. Nobody will say, okay, let's give you an F for not writing an exam. And also, they also receipt exams. If you fail an exam, you have opportunity to receipt it. And if you fail it 3 times, they kick you out of the university. And possibly you might not get, there is high times you might not get admission anywhere in Germany. They kick you out from the university. So they give you an opportunity, but it's impossible for someone to fail an exam 4 times. For my university, there's a regulation that, I don't know, this technical university, there's a regulation that no exam should be more than 1 hour. Like
1 hour?
Yes. It's crazy. It's crazy, So you see, the maximum I can get is writing an exam for 1 hour, 30 minutes. And man, calculations say 1 hour, 30 minutes. You have to be a computer. They expect you to be very fast. They expect you to be very, you have to pour it very fast. It's crazy. So they don't expect you. The goal of the exam, I don't know, maybe it's their new regulations, which I hope that is being relaxed. The goal of the exam is to have an overview of the content of the course. So they don't expect you to answer all the questions. And so far you will pass the course, is okay for them. They don't expect you to say, oh, you have an A, I'm just using an example, and you have an E. That they look at it as, no, they expect, oh, you passed the exam, and that is it. And I won't say it's very easy, because you have to put in the effort. So for the students, there are job agencies that recruit students for menial jobs. Job agencies, for example, you have Job Valley, you have Trust Promotion, you have Zen Job, you have InStaff, you have UCM, you have Promotion Wise. There are a lot of job platforms that recruit students for different kinds of jobs, so is you able to, and you can also get restaurant jobs. You have cleaning agencies too that recruit students. So there are a lot of work, for students here. So it's left for you to plan yourself and work within the 20-hour limit of working. So in these job agencies, you don't necessarily have an idea of the kind of work. The only thing is that they expect you to have a level of German. Some of them, like InStaff, expect you to speak up to C1 level of German, which is crazy. And some other ones allows you to do the work with your English, and some with German. So you have to improve on your German language. As I said earlier, German language is the key of working in Germany. Most of them have apps in Play Store. So once you download the app, you register, and they book you for interview. They interview you, ask you some questions, try to check your documents, your residence permit, your certificate of registration for the semester, and your work permit and all those stuff. So they will check it and verify it. Everything is okay, then they can invite you for a job. For example, if I was asked to go to, like, I've seen a job where they're running a marathon race, and you're asked to, serve in the place, guard the drinks, share drinks, help in the marathon race, coordination. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
There are situations where maybe I've also worked in a place where they are counting electoral box now, election. So you have to count ballot papers, and they have to do it overnight at different hours. So they employ people to do that. There are also service job. For example, if there is an event in Berlin or in any city, you can call. And for example, in the stadium, when Bayern Munich will be playing, you can go there and serve. There's a lot of spectators. You have to guide them, and basically that's it. You can have opportunity to take a photograph with Thomas Muller. That way, that's what we call working student. Working student is that you have the ability to work in a company as a part-time staff, but it's in a student role. Yeah, and I don't think any country gives that flexibility. I've checked, Germany gives it, not an intern. There's a difference between internship and working student. Internship is that it's like, you can, how we do internship in Nigeria, 6 months internship, 3 months internship, you go to a company and then you work full-time there. Germany has that opportunity. And also, we call it, that internship, we call it practicum in German.
Okay.
We have working student, which is called VEC student, like VWERK student, VEC student. You work in the company as a part-time staff. For example, you can be employed in a chemical industry and you work there as a student under a supervisor, and you gain experience from there. So that's why Germany is a very lovely place to be. There are a lot of workforce. I know that some of us must have seen online that they are trying to improve their immigration laws so that people can come in, and there are a lot of jobs. There are a lot of the age gap between the working class and the old people there is very big. So they have to close that gap because they need a lot of people in the country to work. So it's easier to get than doing all those menial jobs. We cannot add anything to your CV. It's easier to get a working student job from your experiences, from your bachelor's degree, what you've had in Nigeria, the experiences you've built in Nigeria, or anywhere in the country, anywhere you are coming from, Kenya, India, name it, anywhere around the world. You can use this experience to get a job. And as I said earlier, improve on your German language. It's very important. It's very key. If you're going to come to Germany, you have to start early to work on your German language, at least to a B1 level, so that you'll be able to communicate. Because I will tell you from my personal experience, once you're able to communicate fluently in German, it's easier to get a working student job. I have several interviews where then I was interviewed in German, and you have to sweat under code because when you have to struggle to speak. And I kept on improving on my language. And yeah, you have to make sure that you work on your free times and you don't abandon your studies to work, because it will tell on you. As a scholarship holder, you report you have a report that you give and they see your grades. So it's important to also plan yourself. You have enough time to work during the holidays, so you'll be able to factor that into position. And during the applications, you have to understand how the Germans write their CV, what kind of CV format are they using, and how is this passed, how to do the applications, what is required, and I believe it will solve the problem.